Yeah.
I get that, but people are saying that Caleb Williams is a generational quarterback. He's a
You think
can't
so?
miss prospect. I
No,
absolutely think so. I
I
think
don't think so.
we were talking about Marvin Harrison Jr., the wide receiver out of Ohio State, stashing him like, hey, can I use this year's draft pick on Marvin Harrison Jr.? People would be lining up the door to do that to Caleb Williams this year, without a doubt. He's better
Yeah.
than any quarterback in this draft this year. And he's the number,
This
I
year,
guarantee, yes,
yeah.
I promise you he's the number one overall pick next year. I think
I
he
don't.
is
I don't like. I watched him play. I don't think he was better than Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence.
he is amazing.
I think he is good. I just think he's got some like.
I
I
think
think
he's
he's like
better than
Justin
Justin was.
Herbert. I think he's like Justin Herbert. Like
I think he's better than Justin was coming out of college. I don't he's not quite Trevor Lawrence-esque yet. I mean, he's still young. He's a sophomore. But Lincoln Riley, I mean, that offense is one of the most pro-ready offenses in college football. Lincoln Riley is one of the best coaches in college football. Rest in peace, Mike Leach, by the way, sadly
yeah, that
passing
was that
away.
was yeah, that was
That was
sad.
terrible, man. So rest in peace.
Yeah,
Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. But Caleb Williams, he is going to be. I don't think he's like Trevor yet. You know what I'm saying? He's not quite
I
as
don't know. I'm always
gifted, but
skeptical of college guys unless I see them play against good players. USC doesn't play against anybody all year. The only good game, the only good teams he played, he lost. And you know what I mean. And I
it
wouldn't say
wasn't not his fault.
I wouldn't
Wins
say
and
it was his
losses
fault.
is not wins and losses is not a quarterback stat. I can't. I
I
disagree.
think it is a quarterback stat
It is
because
absolutely
if you're
not a quarterback
cooking,
stat.
I would have to look at the score. If you scored 50 and you lost 60 to 50, then I agree. But
You
there's still
can't play every position. If a quarterback goes
no,
out there
but
and
you
throws for
control.
300 yards and 3 touchdowns, no picks, he doesn't turn the ball over, but his team loses, how is that his fault?
Well, because I would have because that's you're looking on a broad scale. I think it could be third downs he fucked up, field position he fucked up. Like you know what I mean? I
But
would
then
rather you throw.
what if
I'd
his wide
rather you throw
receivers drop
to
the
it.
ball?
Yeah, that too. Again, I don't know all that. I'm just saying like I think wins and losses can dictate somewhat of a quarterback. It's just like you get first downs, you control the clock, you control the tempo of the game. Not all the times. Like I said, I would have to see the score. If you score 50 and they score 60, then no, it's not your fault.
I
But
disagree completely.
if you're not getting first downs, you're not managing the game well. You're not hitting guys when they're open. You're not checking the runs when you're supposed to.
Okay,
I think they control the wins or loss more than anybody else on the field, even the coach. Is
okay.
the
So let me
quarterback.
ask you a question. Do you like just you're a fan of Justin Herbert, right?
Yeah.
Is Justin Herbert a top 5 quarterback? Would you top 5 in terms of, going through the next 10 years? Would you take Justin
Yeah.
Herbert? Okay.
Yes.
He has more losses than wins.
I know that, but I think he plays recklessly too. I think he's good, but he's like Brett Favre's a good example. You could be good, but also make poor decisions that cost your team the game. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Wins and losses does not dictate how good a
not all the time.
quarterback is.
I think sometimes it does, especially in college when like you're Superman. You got to win these games. Like,
Yeah, but you can't dictate quarterback in college doing that, because if you have teams like,
what
Alabama
quarterback in
that has.
college who could win any big game and turned out to be good?
What do you mean?
Who?
Are
Like
you
what?
telling me that every single national championship quarterback has went to the NFL and been good?
No, I'm saying that the quarterbacks in the NFL were they showed that they'd be good in big games. Caleb Williams loses every big game he plays in.
But he doesn't play bad. He doesn't play
I'm not
poorly.
saying he plays bad. They just don't win the game. I mean, he doesn't
But
play up
he
to
but
par.
he plays up to that
I don't
competition.
remember. I want to see how he played in the last game.
And then
Utah.
on top of that, you said with Deshaun Watson, right? You knew Deshaun Watson was going to be the guy, stuff like that. And didn't he lose? Didn't he end up losing the national championship? Justin
Yeah, but
Fields,
he threw for four. They lost on like the last play of the game,
but like I
and
said,
then he
wins
came
and
back and won
losses.
the
He
next
still
year on the
he
last play
still
of the game.
balled out. He still balled out, but they lost.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying is
Caleb
they
Williams
didn't.
was 28 for 41 for 363 with 3 TDs and interception, and they only scored 24 points, which is not a lot.
No, but that's not on him. He did
Well, I mean
everything
that
he could.
the points is on him, but they did
How,
give up a lot of points. How many points they score in a game is him. That is to him.
and not
If they,
entirely. Not when
if
you're.
if their drives are stalling, it's his fault. I mean, unless you're saying that every bad pass they dropped it.
So wide receivers drop.
Yes,
We're
but
gonna
just
disagree on this completely.
well, I'm
Because
just saying, like, it's just as likely a wide receiver drops a ball as Caleb Williams
okay,
throws a
all
bad
right. So
pass.
timeout.
So I'm
Timeout.
going to take those out. I'm not going to. They all are fucking up. Like
The game against Minnesota for the Bears, right? We lose that game because Smith Marset doesn't run out of bounds. He gets stripped. Justin Fields loses the game. Is Justin Fields a bad quarterback? Is that
no,
his fault?
well, right now he's slightly above average. That game in
What
particular wasn't his fault, but there's been 3 or 4 that was his fucking fault.
was Darnell Mooney's drop in the end zone? Was that his fault?
It was. I think it was a combination of both of them. Could have been a better thrown ball. There was a poorly thrown ball that Darnell still should have caught and scored the touchdown on. I'm not saying. I'm just saying Justin Fields could have done better.
I know,
And there's
but
been play. He just threw an interception to lose us the game last week, and
We're
then the
blowing
week
up.
before that he did
We're
it too.
blowing up Justin. We're blowing up Justin, and this is all I'm trying to say here. Yeah, I'm not gonna be like Skip Bayless, and I'm not gonna make you take off your glasses and throw, like Shannon Sharp did. But we're blowing up Justin, and we're making the same argument, back and forth about a win-loss record being a quarterback statistic. I just don't firmly believe that.
No. Statistic. I think it is more so than anybody else's. I think they even more so than the coach are dictating the game. Most coaches, like there's some coaches that got their hand in everything, but in college too, like I do think it is. Like college, these guys are supermen. Like that's what they do. You hulk up, you win the game. Like his team only scored 24 points, so that means he was driving up and down the field and he couldn't get in the end zone. He wasn't throwing interceptions.
If you're a fan of Michigan, Cade McNamara, great player. We would both agree on that. We think he's a great player. He's going to Iowa. Iowa's offense is fucking terrible. Cade McNamara balls out every game, throws for 350 yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns or whatever a game. Iowa still finishes under 500. Is that Cade McNamara's fault?
Again, I would have to is he throwing what's his third down completion? Oh, how many points of the defense giving up? Like if
that's not wins and losses. That's third down completion. That's third down.
Yeah, but those are the biggest indicators. Are you going to win the game? Are turnovers? Are you whole time of possession? Third down conversion? That's what I'm saying. And quarterback control those things, and those are the biggest indicators of the game.
Not all the time, and in college, it's different.
The best quarterback
in the NFL, I agree with you, but in college, it's different.
Yeah, but you got to show it in college too. In college, I'm measuring how many points are you scoring.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's kind of more so I'm measuring on that. And like I said, he only scored 24 points in the biggest game of his fucking life.
But he can't do everything. Is what he did. What he could.
On offense, he can.
If he threw
it was
for
the Heisman
3 touchdowns,
that's what you do.
3 touchdowns and 1 interception with 363 yards in the air. What more do you want from him?
What I'm saying is they were probably playing in shell. He wasn't scoring in the red zone. They were probably letting him march up and down the field and stopping him in the red zone.
Okay, what about play calling?
That's college. Again, that's what I'm saying. It could be a mix of it, but I think quarterback. You know what I mean? He's a quarterback. He can check. You know what I mean? Once the ball's in the lines, he does whatever the fuck he wants.
I don't know. No.
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, Caleb Williams does. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like
number 1 overall pick next year.
Oh yeah, I think that. I'm not saying he's not going to be overall pick. I just don't think he's.
And he's going to come in. He's going to come in and he's going to wreck the league.
I've seen he's doing what Baker did and Kyler did and Jalen Hurts did. Same shit. That's what I'm seeing. The same shit. Won the Heisman, dominated, lost all the big games, and blamed it on the defense. It wasn't their fault. But didn't Jalen Hurts do the same thing? He didn't win the Heisman, but he almost did. Baker won the Heisman, same shit. Baker's fucking ass. Jalen Hurts is slightly above mid.
We sit there. I'm sorry. I'm going to disagree with you on this too.
I was a Baker defender, but I think
he's not as bad as everybody says he is.
He's not as good as he was supposed to be. That's what I will say.
But for
he's all right.
But for any quarterback to go into a team 48 hours, get thrown.
That was impressive.
Game, not knowing the playbook.
That was impressive.
Go down 98 yards to win the game. Like I'm sorry,
it was impressive. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a quarterback in the NFL, so he's talented. What I'm saying is, he had a Caleb Williams like season where he won the Heisman, and he's mids in the NFL.
Okay, we can say that about any quarterback. We can say that about Justin. We can say that about Justin Fields.
I mean, he's not mids. You could tell the guy can ball. Like he's one of the best athletes in the NFL already. That's different.
And that's how. All right. For next week, this is what I want you to do. This is your assignment. I want you to go back and watch tape on Caleb Williams. It doesn't you don't have to watch whole games. Just kind of watch like a little bit of a highlight reel. We'll come back to this discussion again next week about Caleb Williams because I really think that we're talking about Justin Fields, and stuff like that being a generational talent, just kind of being a franchise changer. Watch some tape on Caleb Williams. Get back to me next
Well,
week.
I've just seen Justin on the NFL field. I'll have to see like I said, maybe Caleb Williams will change my mind when he goes to the NFL. Like I said, I've seen him do pretty good in college, but he doesn't beat any really good teams. And he's just putting up all the numbers that the Oklahoma quarterbacks always put. Oh, they're not Oklahoma anymore. The Lincoln Riley quarterbacks always put up. Like they all do that. Like when was the last quarterback Lincoln Riley had that wasn't a Heisman contender? Like that's what he does. So I'm not going to take away from Caleb Williams from that. I'm just saying I don't know if he's a superhero yet. Like I got to see you in a big game against a team that's better than yours, and you make plays to win the game because that's what the NFL is going to be like, especially if you're drafted to the worst team in the NFL.
It's going to be very difficult. I will say that only because, I mean, we're not seeing it with our quarterback right now.
No, okay, it's a transition, and if he gets somewhere where he doesn't have any talent, obviously, you know what I mean. You can't do it, can't do it all. But, Justin Fields, we have seen he might not have gotten us the W, but he has single-handedly kept us in games, literally on his back, and that's what I mean. We're like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you might still lose the game, but nobody can carry the game like the quarterback can, and that's what I want to see. Like. You're right. It won't always tell the tale. He can drag us and carry us all he wants. We'll still lose. But you're watching these games like he almost did. He almost got the W all by himself. You know what I mean? And so that's what I want to see from Caleb Williams is like, you got to win these games. You're fucking playing against bums. Utah? Like, come on now. Like, I know they're top whatever.
Utah's not bums though, bro.
The players have on their team are bums. They're not NFL players. How many NFL players do you think are on Utah? 3?
Probably 4.
How many first-round draft picks? None?
2?
No, maybe 1. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can't score fucking 40 on them, how you gonna score 40 on Bama? How you gonna score 40 on the Detroit Lions? And that's what I'm saying. Like, he's not playing NFL talent. Justin Fields
that's different, though.
Justin Fields was. Mac Jones was. He's got Trevor Lawrence.
Hamlin Hooker dropped 49 points against Alabama, but he's not a first-round quarterback. He's a third rounder at best.
Well, that's also a little, I don't know. I won't say. I mean, that might be a little bit of stigma. He's a black quarterback, things like that. You know what I mean?
No,
like, he wasn't with Lincoln Riley. He's not in a pro offense. He only did it 1 year. He only did it 1 year. Like, it's a combination of things. If he had 3 seasons like that in a row, he would not be a third-round quarterback. If he did that to Alabama 2 years in a row, he would not be a third-round quarterback.
Okay, well, what about when people are talking about Will Levis? He's
I don't know what I see. That's a anomaly.
He plays for Kentucky, and everybody's telling me that he's the best quarterback prospect in this draft.
In his fairness, Kentucky plays in the SEC, so he's going against. You know what I mean? Even on the bad teams, there's 5 NFL players on that team on the defense. 5, 6 other guys are going to go to the NFL on Ole Miss.
They're just going. They're not, but they're not basing.
And they might not be right. I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying like this is how they're evaluating people.
But they're not evaluating it based on wins and losses. They're evaluating it based on tape, arm strength.
And again, I'm saying and we already got that. Again, I'm not saying that every loss is the quarterback's fault. What I'm saying is they dictated the most. And if fucking Caleb Williams can't beat up on the Pac-12, he damn sure wouldn't be able to do it on the fucking SEC or the Big Ten. And who's going to say he's going to do in the fucking NFL?
I mean, I get it because you take a look at quarterback, but Justin Herbert played in Pac-12.
Yeah, I mean, again, there are anomalies, and Josh Allen too. Or he played in the WAC. I don't know what the fuck.
He played in the WAC.
Yeah, that's what the. But again, these guys, it took a little bit of time, and there are some guys who can transition. Now, I'm just saying, like nobody thought, myself included, or anybody thought Justin Herbert was going to be as good as he was initially. Everybody thought he was maybe a little bit of a project, but he still had all the tools. But maybe Caleb Williams is good. A lot of people are saying he's Mahomes. So, but people say that.
Go that far.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. But